So today in this session, we are talking about artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, payments, and energy, shaping regional growth. We have panelists from different regions, different sectors, and with different roles and responsibilities, and which is because also this cross-industry collaboration is key in fostering digital innovation and securing a sustainable future for emerging markets. And as Burak Bey said today in his speech, that ESG is not a solo game, so just like digitalization, right? ESG and digitalization is not a solo game, and it needs countries and companies to collaborate together. So this is what we are going to be focusing during this 35 minutes, let's say. And we will discuss around artificial intelligence transformation potential, cybersecurity, digital payments, and AI and IoT together, where we build the strategy for the companies, and of course the regulatory requirements that are in the markets. So my first question to Nick. Nick, thank you taking the first one as well. And I believe you will be setting the scene as well for the digitalization, artificial intelligence. So as we talk about digital transformation, it seems that not a day goes by a new product, a new solution, something new in the markets. And there are a lot of opportunities as well, and the governments trying to regulate artificial intelligence. This is one of the top agenda items that they have. Could you please share with us your perspective on the impact that artificial intelligence will have on economic growth, and with a focus on Eurasian countries as well?
Sure, of course. It's important to put AI, its impact, and where we are today into perspective. We're at a pivotal moment in time in terms of AI shaping the global economy. And in many ways, what we're witnessing is the emergence of an AI economy. What began as a concentrated effort to build the most advanced AI models has now become a broader opportunity, because we've realized that generative AI is a general purpose technology and not just a sector-specific innovation. So what does that mean? What does a general purpose technology mean? A general purpose technology is a technology that has broad applications across many sectors, as represented here, across many industries, that has a deep impact on the economy. So financial services, energy, government, transportation. It can impact all these sectors. It can continuously improve, and it can enable innovation on top of it. So if you think about it, in this regard, AI is like electricity. AI is like the printing press. AI is like IT. And the benefits are huge. It's projected to contribute over $15 trillion to the global economy by 2030. It's projected to annually contribute between $2 to $3 trillion to productivity. And we're already witnessing the AI economy and its benefits in terms of trying to address and addressing pressing societal needs. AI is being used to detect skin cancers. AI is being used to predict natural disasters and help us respond to natural disasters. Now, importantly, economic studies show that countries that adopt general purpose technologies the fastest increase their GDPs the most and become economically stronger and geopolitically stronger. So diffusion, this is an economist word, diffusion of this technology, this general purpose technology, is key to these benefits. So who invented the technology is actually less important than who adopts it the quickest. And we've already heard today, our industries and our areas quickly adopting it. So in our countries, we shouldn't focus on not having invented AI. We shouldn't over-focus on what the next big breakthrough is. Rather, we should be thinking about how we can adopt and diffuse AI across our sectors, across our economies, the quickest, from medium and small-sized businesses to big corporations, to governments, to schools. How can we educate? How can we reskill? How can we leverage AI for innovation and to improve our lives? So diffusing AI technology will enable our region, our Eurasian countries, for economic development, and will help us compete even more effectively on the global scale. Now, 2 quick examples to drive this message home and set the stage. One, the example of the printing press, an opportunity where diffusion created tremendous value, and the other, a cautionary tale of electricity. So very quickly, the printing press, Gutenberg's invention, enabled people to write, enabled us to read, enabled us to share ideas and share knowledge and share our culture. With the diffusion of the printing press technology, an entire economy developed. The economy was fueled by authors. The economy was fueled by people who invented paper, who invented ink, who bound books, who published books, who sold books. When this all came together, books and economies took off. So for example, cities in the 1400s that adopted the printing press grew 35 percentage points more than cities that had not adopted the printing press. And the pace of growth and prosperity accelerated in these cities. So in Europe, where books flowed and ideas flowed and these economies developed around the printing press, it led to the Renaissance, it led to the Enlightenment, it led to the scientific revolution, it led to a proliferation of democracy even. And so diffusion, dispersion of the printing press enabled growth. Now quickly, a cautionary tale, electricity. After its invention, it took electricity decades for it to actually reach widespread diffusion and have a profound economic impact. Factories needed to be retooled. Infrastructure needed to be built to deliver electricity to rural areas. There are few incentives to do that. And even today, there are 700 million people without electricity. Can you believe that? So something, a general purpose technology that we, all of us in this room, take for granted, took so long to be diffused. Too long. And it shouldn't take AI this long. So we have a moment then to catch up. So the opportunity for our countries, our Eurasian countries, is to embrace AI, to embrace this general purpose technology, and to ensure it makes it into every sector, into every aspect of our economy. Finally, I'll share this statistic in question. So a 2024 study found that the rate of adoption of AI is at 72%, significantly higher than in prior years because it is being dispersed. So the question for us in this room, representatives from these countries, is how can we help our countries at least meet this 72% adoption rate, if not exceed it, in our respective industries?
Thank you, Nick. Thank you. You mentioned about who adopts early gets more benefits. So I want to come to you, Özgür Bey, because we know that BorusanCat has been early adopters of artificial intelligence. You have the great tools that you developed in this area. So can you tell us a little bit about how these technologies improve operational efficiency and also reduce the costs of BorusanCat's clients? So what are the benefits that you bring to your customers?
Yeah, in fact, while I was listening, Nick is talking about today and future more. And I will talk about the past 8-9 years. In 2017, we started to make a digital transformation to make the company more efficient and also enable the customer experience, enhance the customer experience. And we made a huge digital transformation. As of today, we have more than 15 AI, which was developed by ourselves and fully adapted and used in the industry, and more than 265 RPAs. Both of them help the customer fully digitalized. I can tell you, BorusanCat in 81 branches in more than 6 countries, in Central Asia, Caucasus, Turkey, we are fully digitalized and helping our customers to be more efficient, and ourselves is also quite efficient. We have patents, we have IPs for those tools, and I would like to share some of the use cases with you just to understand. We are in the energy, transportation, construction industries, and mining industry, and we do have equipment up and running. And the expectations of the customers is simple. highest possible availability and lowest cost per service and repair. And what we have done is we disrupted the industry, because our industry works on reactive models. So when maintenance needed, failure happened and repair needed, our industry altogether tried to respond it by having inventory and people over there. And we thought that, what if we could forecast that failure and maintenance needed? And we developed a tool which is helping us on predictive preventive maintenance. And that tool basically collecting a lot of data from IoTs. We connected all assets, and based on the historical data, we start to foresee upcoming failures. And the AI tool, which is developed in-house in 2017, and the tool name is very unique in Turkish, which is called Müneccim, which is fortune teller or oracle in English. And today it's working with 97% precision. So we could identify upcoming failure, which is helping our customer to much less downtime and much less cost. This is award-winning AI, so it's also a Harvard Business School case. So this is one of the best-selling cases in the Harvard Business School. But most importantly, it's changing the industry significantly, because it is giving a lot of benefit to our customer as well as to us. We are quite competitive. We have developed several of them. One of them is also very unique, the other use case maybe. We developed a super app called Boom 360, which 90,000 downloads today in all countries, in 8 different languages. And there is also another AI tool inside that, which is making a sound diagnosis for failures, like Shazam. So you listen the equipment up and running, and it identifies the failure with the 80% precision today, because we need to collect more data. And the benefit of AI is, as you collect more data, as you use more, you could be more precise and more efficiently. And with this transformation, all of them, one of them is internal also. Accounting team is using 15 RPAs. These simple jobs are done by the robots today. And the result is the company is quite successful for the last 6 years, best years ever.
Sure.
So company is successful, customers are happy, and it is giving a lot of sustainability gains on the circular economy especially. So we are using this one.
Perfect. Thank you. And also it's great to have this as a case study in Harvard Business School. And also Özgür Bey is giving the lectures together with other professors in this university. So thank you very much. So as we talk about AI and securing this platform is one of the most important items that we need to discuss and talk in very detail, but we will be brief this time. So, what measures has Prosol Azerbaijan implemented to address the region's increasing cyber security threats? So, what are the initiatives?
Okay, thank you. So, yes, you're right. There were a lot of points raised by my distinguished colleagues about AI, digitalization, technological processes, but after all, I remember from my university time while learning politics, they were important point saying that everybody, all the countries, they have national interest, but everything starts with security. If there is no security, there is no national interest. So while talking about digitalization and using AI, having the proper data set, so this is important, but without having proper security in place, there is no digitalization. And talking about digitalization, I just would like to refer one of the latest reports came from Davos World Forum, Economic Forum, saying that digital economies, actually 5% point increase in digital trust will cause the digital economies to have $3,000 increase in their GDP. So which is another brilliant example how digital trust is important in having better digital economies in today's world. And in this case, our company Prosol, as part of the ecosystem built by the government in Azerbaijan, we are trying to increase this digital trust by having data integrity and availability at the necessity. So what has been so far done in Azerbaijan and where Prosol is part of, so due to digitalization process, Azerbaijan for the last few years has implemented continuous efforts in order to have better cybersecurity ecosystem, starting with proper legislation put in place. So we have adopted the critical information security, infrastructure strategy or law. We have recently adopted, a year ago, cybersecurity strategy for 2023-2027. And the second important steps that had been taken already as a measures, the proper structures have been created within the government. And one of the most important, I would say, last but not least, the HR potential, human resources potential, which is one of the most challenging aspects in cybersecurity. There are private and public partnership in this area that private companies and government are cooperating through the scholarship given by the government in order to have proper human resources capital to manage cybersecurity challenge and to build proper ecosystem. Within all this, our company, using all these measures taken by the government for the last 4 years, has done a lot, starting from its own academy, building the human resources, going to full-fledged cybersecurity potential building. We have in our company giving full cyber range, giving offensive and defensive service, all aspects of cybersecurity. And of course, we are working with governmental structures and also private entities, like my colleagues were saying, implementing AI, having the technological process in their businesses. So far has been done, but it doesn't mean that there is nothing to do further. So there are a lot to do, as all the companies are talking about more digitalization, more AI, and in order to have better AI, more data sets to be created, that much cybersecurity will be needed. So there are much to do in future.
Yes, I totally agree with you. There are much to do, and there's a lot of also potential for the young generation going into this AI area and how we can secure the environment. And as you said, digital trust is critical. So I will just come to a little bit of digital payments when we talk about this digital trust. And digital payments are transforming also the regional economies by promoting financial inclusion. Could you please, Cengiz Bey, share with us examples of how Mastercard innovations are providing financial inclusion and help mainly the small businesses grow in this area?
Thank you, Didem Hanım. I'm pleased to be here. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to echo what Babek says about the trust. At Mastercard, our mission is simple, which is to digitize all money flows, like creating a world where payments are fast, secure, and accessible to everyone and everywhere. But more than just, digitizing payments, we are in the business of really creating and maintaining trust in digital payment solutions. And trust and innovation thus are the foundation of everything we do. As digital transactions become more widespread, people need to know that their payments are safe, fast, and secure, and convenient, whether they are paying a local vendor or they are conducting a cross-border business. And our innovations aim what we call to empower people and power businesses, by building a trusted ecosystem where digital payments can help them grow, expand, and succeed. So let me share with you some striking statistics that shows how digital payments contribute to the economic growth and the financial inclusion and development. A study by the World Bank suggests that a 10% increase in digitalization, including payments, can lead to a 1.4% increase in GDP per capita in emerging markets. This is a huge impact. Another study reports that adopting digital finance in emerging economies could boost GDP by $3.7 trillion by 2025, which could result in 95 million new jobs. And according to International Finance Corporation, SMEs that use digital payment methods are 50% more likely to access credit from financial institutions than those relying on cash transactions. The World Travel and Tourism Council found that simplifying payment systems for travelers through digital payment solutions could increase international tourist spending in any given country by 30%. And Mastercard's own analysis found that expanding digital payments could lead to an additional $1 trillion in new economic activity across the global economy by 2025. And finally, the World Bank estimates that digital financial services could reduce the number of unbanked adults by 2 billion people globally. So those are huge impacts. So I would like to just finally touch upon what we are actually doing in the region, because I'm responsible for Turkey, Caucasian countries, and Central Asian countries, and we are very active, sharing our experiences in the countries. So one example to support SMEs. At Mastercard, we have a philanthropic organization which is called Center for Inclusive Growth. And they started a project for Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, which is called Strive, to support digitization of SMEs. And we are talking about thousands of SMEs in the scope. And as part of this project, they partnered with a local fintech in Uzbekistan to develop a digital solution that allow SMEs to use their smartphones as acceptance devices, as opposed to having POS terminals, which is more expensive. So this does not only help them to accept digital payments, but also it allows them to have digital credit score, which means normally their revenue streams, which is not visible to financial institutions, now it is visible, so they would have access to microcredit. And it is very impactful. For tourism, in addition to our core business, which is creating acceptance in any given country that tourists could spend by their cards, we also work with the governments to help them develop tourism strategies by using our tourism insight platform, which relies on animated data that help them to have better strategies to understand the spending patterns of the incoming tourists. Or we can have some workshops, tourism innovation hubs. We did in Uzbekistan again recently, addressing their own strengths and the challenges. So we help them also to boost their tourism innovation. And finally, on financial literacy, we are also very active. For instance, we have what's called Mastercard Academy, in which we have a ready content which help SMEs to learn all digital part of their story. And we localize this content for every country, translate into their own language, etc. So in a nutshell, we have a lot of tools and solutions, and we are strong believer that the digitalization is really boosting the economies, and we are really happy to collaborate with the governments and stakeholders in the region.
Perfect. I mean, it's important to really include SMEs into it because there are a lot and they are not really that able to reach out to the technology and all these enablements themselves. So it's a great initiative that you have. And Uygar Bey, today there were a lot of discussions around energy sector and how what energy area initiatives are in these areas. But with you, I would like to touch base more on how the energy sector and technology is coming together and what are the efficiencies that technology is bringing to this area. And we know that Honeywell has different solutions bringing together products and services and software together, some solutions. So what are the programs that you have and what are the benefits that you bring to the customers?
Yeah. Thank you. Nick started with a very good introduction of the importance of AI and digital in multiple areas. And I believe industrials and energy industry and oil and gas will and is having a lot of benefits within this transformation. So digitalization and AI is increasing the productivity, reducing the costs, improving the reliability, improving workforce efficiency in many aspects. And especially in this region, in Eurasian region, and within Honeywell, we operate in, Istanbul is our hub, and we operate in many countries within this region. I am really seeing a good understanding of some of our esteemed customers about the importance of digital. Mainly because, we do not have a lot of luxury to invest in new assets. So whenever we have our investments, we need to use them in the most effective and productive way, and in the most cost-efficient way. And in that sense, I'll give you some examples, especially from several countries in this region. In a glass manufacturing customer in Turkey, we started digitalization of their assets, and especially we were focusing on how we can improve their assets so that they can work in the limits of their boundaries without compromising the quality, but still having the cost efficiency and all that. And when we did that, we saw like a 3% increase in their productivity and 6% decrease in their energy efficiency. And this actually led to a 6-month return of investment for this specific customer. Another one in Azerbaijan with SOCAR, we started the digital transformation journey with them for their end-to-end optimization of their refineries, and now we are expanding it to Azerbaijan in their petrochemical assets and refineries. Again, leading to millions and millions of dollars of savings, and also reducing the emissions by having energy efficiency. And the last example I want to give is again from our region, Kazakhstan. Kazmunaygaz, they focused on the reliability of their assets, worked through digital twins together with us, so improved the asset performance, the productivity, and had significant energy savings and cost savings. And they actually said, they are gaining just by this digitalization $6.2 million every year as profits, compared to the state before digitalization and AI. So a lot of opportunities in our region for that. So I think this is something that we all need to think about and adopt. But I'm happy and very much energized by our customers being, good adopters of digitalization and AI in the region.
Perfect, thank you. I mean, it's really great to hear these best practices and examples of what is being done, so that it's going to be also a best case scenario to other customers who really want to go into this direction. So we are done with the first round of the questions, and in the second round I'm going to more into regional questions. As we promised, we have only 10 minutes left, so I would really appreciate if you can just answer in a few sentences, and so that our audience will not be that late afterwards. So Babek, I would like to again come to you from the regional perspective. So regional collaboration becomes more important, and what type of cybersecurity strategies should be prioritized cross-border digital infrastructure in the region? So what would you suggest?
Okay, good question. I think in the first question I managed it, so I will try to do the same for the second question, even though it's about international regional cooperation. While starting, you underlined a very important point, that digitalization cannot be done all alone. It should have proper cooperation. The same comes with cybersecurity, in general, for security. And since we are talking about cybersecurity, it's already a cross-border notion. And in order to have proper cybersecurity, there is a necessity for cooperation, and there are two notions or two components for this cooperation. One of them is international cooperation, organizations like IPU, United Nations, NATO, or European Convention Against Cybercrime. These are the platforms creating very effective platforms or very effective platform for collaboration for better cybersecurity or resilience in this area. The second one, we are talking about the region, Eurasia, and in our case we are talking about Caspian Basin, where we have Caucasia and Central Asia. In order to build more resilient, more flexible cybersecurity collaboration, I think there are things to be done, because there is no any effective collaboration mechanism or organization in a regional level for cybersecurity. Yes, there are some efforts within the existing organization, like Turkic countries. There is collaboration between state structures responsible for cybersecurity, but this is not permanent organization. I would suggest from my own experience that it would be very effective to have a regional cybersecurity framework for those countries that exist in our region, to have proper platform for information sharing, which doesn't exist, unfortunately, because for cybersecurity to share information, a kind of sandbox, sharing the proper information, one country with the others, important to be ready for upcoming threats, and also to build proper collaboration through the governments with the corporates, I mean private sector, which doesn't exist. So I think these three elements actually, international cooperation, regional framework and information sharing mechanism, and the proper collaboration between private sector in the region will be effective mechanism for better cybersecurity.
Yeah, it's again, as you said, coming back to it cannot be solo. It needs collaboration between among different parties. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Uygar Bey, when we talk about technology and also it goes together with the sustainability and all the climate changes that we have, and our customers are much more climate conscious, and also we know that technology is also spending a lot of energy and so on. So what are the Honeywell's initiatives again around how to provide more sustainability and how to reach customers' sustainability targets in the region? So just quickly, with the examples would be great.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, as Honeywell, we are mainly focusing on, sustainability and circular economy solutions, but mainly focusing on the more economically viable and even economically very attractive solutions. So, because sometimes sustainability, when you think of it, you spend money and then you only, change the climate, and this may not be attractive for some of the investors. But in our cases, I think at least we need to start from somewhere. At least we start with the attractive solutions, while we also need to do the others as well. So, two examples I will give. One is, sustainable aviation fuel production. It's in high demand and will be in high demand in the coming years. This is something that we are currently working with Tüpraş, mainly producing sustainable aviation fuel from biofeedstocks like used cooking oil in the kitchens, and then animal fats and other non-edible biostock. High demand, good pricing, and really very viable solutions. The second one, again with Biotrend, another good example from Turkey, recycling waste plastics to make them a very valuable recycled plastics that will be sold at very premium prices. So, getting rid of the plastics waste, but making it and transforming it to such a valuable, product that can be sold. So those are promising things, at least that we see in our region, that there is there's attraction to these types of projects. So those are the most promising things.
Perfect, thank you. Like we discussed in security, there are lots to do also in the sustainability area to achieve the targets, and also to make more peaceful, let me say, in the world. So when Özgür Bey, actually when we have very different use cases for different industries, and also this is what we are discussing right now. And we know that BorusanCat is also operating in different countries. So, and you have a lot of, as you also mentioned in the previous question, you have different products that you deploy. And what are your lessons learned, actually, when you have them in different countries and different regions? So how do you manage different cultures?
Yeah, it's all about change management. In the beginning, we struggled with, I think, the biggest challenge that we had while we are doing digitalization is the adaptation of the human beings. We have 35 different nations in our organization, but when we first introduced our RPAs, one of the response we got from the organization, these robots will burn one day, so you need us. That was the answer. But today, we are fully digitalized and they are fully utilizing that one. The thing that we have done, I think, successfully, we made this change done by our friends. So basically, most of the ideas came through from them. All of the use cases they took involvement, they involved in the processes. We have 90 people in our digital and technology team today. Only half of them are technology guys from IT world. The remaining 50% of them are coming from the organization, and they are talking the problem. We made them the part of the problem so that they can solve together. So they adapted very quickly, and we are pioneering globally. I think change management is the key. If you ask me, the most difficult one is not the financial investment. We made more than $50 million investment in the last 8 years. It was the easiest part, but the toughest one is to adapt the organization. When you adapt the organization, customers is adapting much quickly. I think that's what we have done successfully.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, cultural transformation, right? Yeah, together with it goes the cultural transformation, which is really key in what we do, what we discuss around. Cengiz Bey, coming back to you again on this regulations, while anything that we discuss here is very much dependent on the regulations, and also regulations is on top of the government's agenda and also the private sector as well as and the NGOs that really support them. And what does Mastercard do in collaborating with policymakers to build this infrastructure for the regulations?
Yeah. Digital payment space is very complex and dynamic, and it's really, really hard to regulate this space. So it requires really to closely work with the governments and the private sector, NGOs. So that's why we developed a concept to work with governments, which we call digital country partnerships. So we sign those multi-year programs, partnerships with the countries in the region. For instance, like what we have right now is with Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and Georgia. Normally, we sign those partnership agreements with central banks or sometimes with Ministry of Trade or Economy, and it allows us to address all important pillars of digital payment. And then through this partnership agreement, we provide technical assistance. We share our international best practices because some of the areas in the world, they are more developed in, let's say, open banking in the UK, so you have a lot of experience to share with the regulators in Central Asian countries. And those are emerging areas like CBDC, central bank, digital currency, open banking, or real-time payment. There are many areas. It's not well regulated yet, so it is really important to share best practice in other parts of the world, in other parts of the world. So that's what we are doing in the region. But I think the most challenging part is again the cybersecurity. Really, it's the backbone of everything. So we are also collaborating with them. So not only that we have our products and solutions, but also we provide technical assistance programs, trainings, workshop with the regulators and the banks, and then we help them increase their capacity to deal with security challenges. I'll just give a couple of statistics to show the importance of the cybersecurity. For instance, cybersecurity attacks cost the global economy approximately 1% of global GDP annually, which is like $1 trillion loss. Or according to the World Economic Forum, 95% of cybersecurity breaches are caused by human error. So that's why the need for proper training and protocols. Or the average cost of data breach in 2022 was $4.3 million. And this is important, 72% of consumers express concerns about becoming victims of e-commerce fraud, indicating growing importance of securing digital payments. And finally, no one is immune from these attacks. 83% of organizations experience multiple data attacks in 2022. Yeah. So this is a huge area that needs to be addressed, and it requires collaboration with the government.
Yes, yes, it does, and we started to see more and more of these threats, and taking the actions is very important, very urgently. So my timer said we are on time, but Nick, the last question to you, very briefly. Again, going back to what you said at the very beginning of our panel. So we have our Eurasian countries embracing the AI economy you mentioned, and what they should do, what should be done, also in order to compete with other countries who are more advanced and who are maybe more, has progressed more in the ICT environment.
Yeah, and first, wow, what amazing examples of our countries, our economies embracing digitization, embracing AI from FSI to energy to manufacturing, so really amazing. I do think for sure policy and regulation will play an important part in this technology diffusing, I'll go back to the economist term, as well into ensuring that we are taking a responsible approach to AI, because we know we need to build trust, we know it can be misused. We're already seeing governments and NGOs rush to regulate, rush to develop frameworks, rush to develop principles because they appreciate the potential of this technology. Examples include the European Union's AI Act. Examples include the UN General Assembly resolution that all of our countries have signed, recognizing AI for its potential and highlighting the need for AI systems to be secure, to be trustworthy, and to be safe. And highlighting that AI can help with the UN's SDG goals as well. So that I would say, look, we heard the importance of security. I think we all mentioned it in one way or another. And so governments need to continue to develop the rules for responsible use of AI, especially in privacy, especially in security. And the examples we heard involve a lot of data and a lot of trust. Your customers and our customers are putting in us to handle it in a private way, in a secure way. I think policy should involve to continue to build trust. We need to make sure AI is safe. We need to make sure AI is reliable, is transparent, that at the end of the day, there's a human accountable behind these decisions. And so regulations should move and can move in that way. And with any tool, it can be a weapon. With any opportunity, there's a risk. We know AI can be and is being misused today, whether it's for cybersecurity attacks, misinformation, deep fakes. So regulation needs to evolve to prevent and discourage the misuse of AI. I'd also say an important part for some of our countries in Eurasia, AI, hyperscale cloud is foundational for AI. There is no AI if you don't have hyperscale cloud. And so this is important to remember, because unless countries have a cloud-friendly, even a cloud-first policy, we will never get to this dispersion of this general-purpose technology into some of the amazing scenarios you shared today. So having this foundational approach where cloud-friendly, cloud-first policies will enable AI to flourish. And then I'll look internally, I'll look to us, to the panel, and I'll say, look, the private sector and civic society has a responsibility as well. We need to come together to educate communities. We need to come together to help reskilling. We need to come together to accelerate government's balanced approach to regulating. And there I'll say it, you don't often hear a technology company say governments need to regulate, but this is a space where we need to build trust, we need to regulate. And this is a space we all need to do it together. Unless we do it together, we won't get the benefits of this general purpose technology. We won't get the benefits of the printing press, and we may get the delay of electricity that we talked about. So I hope we can work together to keep the momentum up.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, everyone. It's very obvious that we have to come together, and it is very critical, regionally and cross-industry collaboration, as well as coming together private sector, public sector, NGOs, and international organizations, because there are lots to do in security, in artificial intelligence, in payments, in digitalization, in transformation. So it's obvious that we need to all come together and collaborate all together. Thank you very much for this panel. It was great to be together. So thank you.